Let's talk about one of the most powerful tools inside the KnoCard Auto system, something that every single sales rep, sales manager, and general manager needs to understand deeply. And that is the pipeline activity and KPI tracking system. Now first, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What is a pipeline? The pipeline is a live digital record of your interactions with each customer. It's a visual path that tracks where every customer is in your process, from the moment they're entered into your KnoCard system, all the way to the final step, a sold vehicle and a review. Here's what that journey typically looks like. New prospect test drive finance application, sent vehicle sold Google review requested, and each of these stages is manually updated by you, the rep, inside your KnoCard mobile app or dashboard. This isn't a passive CRM that just waits for input. This is a hands-on engagement tool built for action. Now, why is the pipeline important? Because here's the truth. Most dealerships have no idea what their salespeople are doing in real time. If a GSM walks into the showroom at 3:15 p.m. and wants to know how many test drives have been conducted today or how many finance applications have gone out, they can't find that information easily because no system is tracking it live. If you ask, what is James doing right now? Most sales managers will guess, I think he's with a customer. Or, I'm not sure, I saw him go outside. But with KnoCard Auto's pipeline, that guesswork is over. The second James taps test drive on his pipeline, the manager sees it. It's time-stamped. It's logged. It's visible from the dashboard. Same for sold vehicles. Same for finance apps. Everything is tracked. Everything is visible. This isn't about micromanagement. It's about operational clarity. Let's also define KPI because that's a big part of this feature. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. These are measurable values that show how effectively someone is achieving key objectives. And in sales, KPIs are everything. Inside KnoCard, we track the most vital KPIs for dealership success. How many new prospects a rep is adding daily? How many test drives are being marked? How many finance apps are being sent? How many vehicles are being marked sold? How many Google reviews are being requested? These numbers are the pulse of the dealership. If your KPIs are low, sales will be low. It's that simple. Why does this matter to you? Because if you want to be a top-performing rep or a great manager, you need to see the truth in the numbers. You need to know if you're talking to enough people, you're converting those conversations into test drives, you're helping people apply for financing, and ultimately, you're closing the deal. Here's something that might surprise you. Most salespeople actually fail at the close. It's not that they don't want to close, they just don't have the tools to know where the breakdown is. But when you can look at the pipeline and say, I had 20 prospects this week, 8 test drives, 6 apps sent, and 2 sold. Now you're working with clarity. You can coach, you can adjust, you can improve. Coaching and accountability. The KnoCard pipeline isn't just for logging, it's for coaching. Let's say a rep has a high number of new prospects, but very few test drives logged. That's a coaching moment. They're talking to people, but maybe their messaging isn't strong enough to move the customer forward. Or let's say they're getting test drives, but no finance apps. That's another coaching moment. Maybe they're not bringing up the next step properly. Maybe they're not trained on the finance app handoff. With this data, you stop coaching based on feelings and start coaching based on facts. And that's exactly what NPQ teaches us. Sales improvement comes from clarity, behavior, and emotional progression. KnoCard's pipeline brings that clarity to life. Exporting and CRM integration. Now let's talk about how all this data can be used outside KnoCard. Everything in the pipeline is exportable via CSV file. That's a universal spreadsheet format you can use for reporting, backup, or importing into other systems. And if your dealership is using a CRM like DealerSocket, VinSolutions, Salesforce Automotive Cloud, or eLeads, KnoCard Auto can integrate with them. Here's the important part. We are a push service, not a pull service. That means we send data into your CRM. We do not pull any data out. This keeps your system safe, secure, and streamlined. We won't mess with your CRM. We just enhance it by feeding it real-time pipeline data. If integration is needed, it's available. The dealership would simply be responsible for the cost of that integration. But technically, we're ready. Final takeaway. This feature is not just nice to have. It's one of the core reasons KnoCard Auto is so powerful. It gives you visibility. It gives you control. And it gives your dealership real-time data to make real-time decisions. When reps are actively logging their activity, and when managers are actively reviewing the pipeline, that's when results start to change. This is what modern sales success looks like. No guessing, no waiting, no excuses, just real data, real activity, and real results.